Decades ago, occupational health was entirely reactive. You got hurt, and the plant nurse patched you up with a first aid kit. Today, the modern safety and health manager operates completely differently. They analyze systemic hazards, design prevention protocols, and manage capital investments long before anyone ever requires medical care. To manage workplace risk, they divide their focus into two distinct categories. The first is safety. Safety deals strictly with the acute effects of workplace hazards. These are sudden, immediate incidents, like a mechanical failure on an assembly line, an electrocution, or a slip and fall on a loading dock. The second category is health, which targets the chronic effects of hazards. These are long-term, cumulative issues that develop over weeks, months, or years, such as repetitive motion injuries from a poorly designed workstation or gradual respiratory damage from prolonged exposure to toxic chemicals. Managing both sides of this equation requires a highly specialized skill set. The modern practitioner must think like an engineer to spot mechanical flaws, evaluate biological data like a doctor, and balance budgets like an accountant. Your initial instinct might be that a good safety manager aims to remove all hazards and create a 100% safe environment. In reality, that is an unrealistic and naive strategy. Eliminating every conceivable risk in a heavy industrial setting is physically and economically impossible. Instead of chasing total safety, professionals use a strict system of risk triage. They run potential hazards through a 3-tier feasibility assessment to determine which problems actually demand a solution. First, they filter out hazards that are physically impossible to correct. Next, they reject hazards that are physically fixable but economically unviable. That leaves the third tier: hazards both physically and economically feasible to correct. This is the sole focus. Effective safety management means accepting that you must choose among hazards. You abandon the illusion of a flawless facility and prioritize the risks you actually have the power to solve. To locate actionable hazards, managers rely on quantitative data, like this OSHA Form 300 log. By parsing these dense, handwritten rows detailing injury dates and days away from work, managers can pinpoint exactly where the facility is hurting most. Let's test this framework. Look at these 3 scenarios flagged in a log. Scenario A involves moving concrete pillars. Scenario B is installing a metal guard over a drive belt. Scenario C involves monitoring a chemical spray area. Scenario C spans safety and health, causing acute burns and chronic issues. Scenario A is physically possible but economically unviable, landing in Tier 2. Scenario B, guarding the drive belt, is physically and economically sound, passing into Tier 3. The raw data proves a hazard exists, but it is this precise feasibility framework that dictates whether an action plan gets drafted. Once you isolate an actionable Tier 3 hazard, you face the final hurdle. You have to convince corporate leadership to pay for the correction. Executives evaluate decisions based on production efficiency and profitability. To secure their backing, you must translate safety risks into direct threats to their bottom line. This diagram illustrates the safety economics iceberg. Management typically only sees the tip above the waterline, direct costs like workers' compensation. But below the surface lies a massive structure of hidden, indirect costs, like ruined product and replacement worker training. By calculating those hidden financial drains, the safety manager proves that uncorrected hazards actively destroy corporate profits. When you present safety as a financial imperative, it becomes top management's priority. The complete workflow of a successful safety and health manager operates in 4 deliberate steps: spot the hazard, classify its nature, triage its feasibility, and pitch its return on investment. Consolidate these core concepts into a 3-part playbook. Column 1 divides risks into immediate safety threats and long-term health hazards. Column 2 filters those risks through the 3 feasibility tiers. Column 3 justifies the solution by exposing the hidden indirect costs beneath the iceberg. Securing the respect and backing of top management does not come from making naive demands for a completely risk-free facility. It comes from making economically sound, highly targeted decisions about where to deploy capital. That dual capability defines the position. The true value of the modern safety and health manager lies in the ability to simultaneously protect human lives on the floor and defend the corporate bottom line in the boardroom.